Hey guys, what's up? It's James, bringing you guys a little bit of a different video today. Something that I might be doing if you guys do enjoy it on the weekends, because on the weekdays I just mainly upload tournaments and PvP related content. So basically what this is, or how this got brought about, is I was in a call yesterday with the fam, and I think it was either my friend Trey or Jordan that brought up alternations to cards and fan-made cards, and it got brought to searching up YouTube videos of fan-made cards and stuff like that. So I just took it a step further and thought it would be cool to discuss some cards and how they would impact the game if they were real. And some of the cards in some like videos were really OP and stuff and weren't really reasonable, so I might not have picked them. But all these cards in this video are basically just an example. I found them on a YouTube video. I'll go ahead and link the video down in the description to give full credit to the person that actually, you know, made the cards or found them and put them in his video for collage. But basically what I want to get out of this video is for you guys to make a Twitter, because a lot of the Wiz community is on Twitter, and it's like the quickest way to find out about Wizard101 tweets and events that Wizard101 tweets out and KingsOwl tweets out, like updates, test realm, all that good stuff, when the game will be going down for maintenance, so you don't have to like YOLO it and then be in like a tournament match or a PvP match and then have the servers go down. But you guys should follow me, and if you guys have any card ideas or fan-made cards that you made yourself or your friend made, or you found offline that that isn't like in another YouTube video, you guys should definitely send it to me and I could feature it in the video. It'd be really cool. Just don't make it like too OP or too unreasonable. Like, I'll accept funny ones, like say if you guys like cropped out like a pie and put it on a card, made it cost 0 pips and made it do something ridiculous. I'd probably put that in there, but make it seem reasonable. I've seen a couple funny ones on Twitter and stuff like that. I don't want you to follow me for, you know, follows, but just to it's just because the Twitter community for Wiz is like the biggest community and it's the most active. So if you guys do decide to make a Twitter, make sure to follow me. My Twitter is always down in the description. It's a really good way to keep active with the Wiz community, and there's a lot of great people on Twitter that are willing to help you with questing, pets, TC, etc. It's a really good active community for Wiz. But getting into the actual video, gonna go ahead on with number 1. Here at number 1, we have a 1-pip myth card called Vanquish, which sacrifices a minion for a 35% myth blade, 20% accuracy, or a 55% tower shield. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of wish this card was real, because I could do a lot of things with this card, especially for Storybreaker with my level 66 legendary myth peeve. A lot of combos and strategies could go into this, mainly seeing this card geared towards PvP. Say if you minion and then you infile that turn, and the next turn the minion still doesn't go down, your opponent has a chance to tower that round, not knowing that the minion would get summoned. That round you could infile, then sacrifice the minion if the minion takes off the tower or the set shield, and then follow up with that blade or that accuracy to power through lore managers if you're getting lore spammed, or you can get protected by having that 55% tower set on you. So this is a really good card. Would it change the game much for Myth? Not really, but it is still a really good card. Spicing things up, getting on to number 2, we have a 10-pip fire spell, Scorching Kirin, that caught my eye for 2 reasons. Number 1 of those reasons being that it is a actual good 10-pip spell that you don't see really any visual needing of blades or anything. It does around the damage of FFA without the trap spam, really, because as soon as a fire gets that shadow pip, is beetle into the FFA or brim into the stun to the FFA. But it does give a smoke mantle, so completely reasonable damage for 10 pips. It is a really good spell. I kind of wish this spell was real. It would really hype me for going to level 100 on a fire that I may or may not make in the future. Still debating on making a fire just because fire is completely broken. But if this spell was real, definitely it would be getting used a lot in PvP. In questing, I wouldn't say so much, but in PvP, definitely. That Smoke Mantle is OP, that damage is OP, and it's completely reasonable for 10 pips. And it definitely deserves a place on this top 8. Here at number 3, we have Abominable Storm, which is a 10 pip storm spell, which what could potentially be the most broken but fair card in the game for Storm, depending on how you look at it. Now, it is 10 pips, so keep that in mind, that you can set for it or get ready for it, that when they do cast it, you at least know what's coming, so it's 10 pips. But it does 900 damage low end, mid base it does 1.1, and if it hits high end it's 1.3. Now, because it's an overtime, and not only that, but it's to all enemies, it has to accumulate that damage over 2 rounds. So it's like half of 900, and then like the other half of 900 the next round. But if you do the math, Storm's damage nowadays is like 120, 130, depending on if your pet's good or not, or what damages it has, or what criticals it has. If this crits on you, your whole team is basically dead. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. And it's doing base card on the damage first round if you're a max Storm. And I would assume that this is, you know, only used at max, or 4v4, 3v3, 2v2 mainly. But, is this card broken? I'm going to say yes, because base damage, it would do over 900 first tick, and way over 1.3 if it hit high end first tick. And if it crit on you, it's definitely a good game. So, depending on how much Pierce you have, if you have an end file up, what your stats are, this card can be super deadly, but it is 10 pips, so if they do have 10 pips, you can at least, you know, get an idea of what card they're going to use. But yeah, that does it for this. So you guys know how mana burn is 5 pips. What if you could pay an extra 5 pips to mana burn the whole team? This card is 10 pips, called Sphinx Ire, 795 low end, 835 high end, and you could actually enchant this one, seeing how it's not like mana burn can't be enchanted, just like accuracy enchanted really. But this does that much damage, and it is an AoE minus 4 pips to each enemy. It is sort of like a Lord of Winter to every class, but since it's balanced, we're going to look at it as if it was a mana burn. Enchanted, this thing would be doing about 1.2, 1.4 depending on your damage and Pierce as a balance. This card would mainly rule on like 4v4 max and everything. 3v3, 2v2. Would it change the game much for balance? I really don't see it happening much, because balance still has a lot of cards given to them like Lore Master and Savage Paw and Gaze that they could spam and use. 10 pips for this much damage and a mana burn, I guess would only come in clutch if you had to use it. I don't think this would be like a spam card for balance. On to number 5, the game starts to change up a little bit. We have Reduced Power, which is a Star School spell, surprisingly. Costs 1 pip and lowers the enemy pip chance by 35% for 3 rounds on one enemy. So it's just for one guy, so very useful in 1v1. Is it broken? Yeah, I kind of would consider it broken. It does cost 1 pip. I would consider it like more fair if it costs like 2 pips or 3, because technically you can't equip a Star Mastery. So if you were at like full power pips and they had a shadow pip and they were getting ready to kill you, so you have like 2k health left, you're versing a storm and they're getting ready to glow bug, you could reduce power for 3 or 2 pips, hope for the shadow pip clutch, or use a 10 pip spell that would kill them, or take away their pips if you're ice or balance, mana burn, something like that. So this card could be used in a lot of strategies. Would it get spammed? Yes, because it's 1 pip. I think it would be more fair if it was like 2 or 3 pips. Here at number 6, reviewing the only card that Ice needs to be best PvP class in game. Ultimate Block, which is an Ice card, costs 3 pips to cast, blocks the next 2 incoming spell effects. Now, not only is this a much beefier version of Stun Blocks, but it negates spell effects. Now, what that's saying is, cards like Supernova won't take away Aura. Cards like Lore Master will not put a Lore Mantle and a weakness on them. Cards like Ifrit won't put a minus 90 on them. Cards like Mana Burn won't take away pips rather than just do the damage. Cards like, let me see here, Burning Rampage won't do the overtime damage. Snow Angel will just do the initial like 300 if you have a blade on, or 400 depending on your damage if you're in ice. Cards like Lord of Winter won't take away pips. This is the bane of PvP. If Ice was ever given this card, there would be nothing but Ices in queue. People like Scott the Ice and Jordan Ice Sword, they'd have massive rank, like over 3k rank. This would be the literal bane of PvP. Being more broken than number 6, surprisingly, and being more OP than Critical Guardian Spirit under TC Sanctuary, at number 7 we have Recover, a 5-pip life spell that returns the amount of health you had last turn to yourself. Now, what this means is that if you're going second against a fire or a high-hitting storm with some lucky critical bolts, potentially you can gain all that health back from second if your prediction skills are on point, with 5 pips if you know how to control your pips, or 3 pips if you elucidate this. This card is broken in every way, regardless of how many pips it takes, and this card would put Jade Lives at the top of the leaderboards until Third Age was over. Here at number 8, with the most interesting, I think, of them all so far in the top 8 fan-made spells, we have Double Cast, which is a 4-pip Sun spell that allows the casting of 2 spells next turn for self at once. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys can think of a plethora of ideas to combo with this card, but seeing how it costs 4 pips for regular or power pips, depending on how you look at it, and you can't equip a Sun Mastery for spells, this would kind of hinder your possibility of combos. But one combo that I would be using a lot at max, if this card was real, would be Rat Magician into Minotaur or Ninja Pigs. The Rat Magician would take off sets or towers and put up a bubble that would create the extra damage, and then Ninja Pigs would be doing about like 2.4, 2.5 depending on my pierce and damage. But that would be a combo that I would use a lot at max if this card were real. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this video today. Please drop a like if you guys enjoyed, drop a dislike if you did not enjoy. If you guys do end up enjoying this series, this will be something I'll be doing like every weekend or every other weekend, depending on the reviews that this video gets. But since I didn't upload Friday, I just wanted to bring something new to the table that you guys may or may not enjoy. So if you guys did enjoy it, please drop a like or drop a dislike. I will take all feedback into consideration. If you guys have any ideas for this series, if you guys do want it to keep going, let me know in the comment section below. I'll be reading all the comments on this video. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked, drop a like. If you did not, drop a dislike. Comment section, feedback, appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.